Well, the test worked out. My voice, not so much. The hair is excellent, but not that excellent. Anyway, hi everyone, this is Soul. This is Coffee with Soul. I gotta not repeat that. So, this is a kind of a different newish segment, and so it's very much a work in progress. You can see I can't even point in the right direction right now. So there are people over there, we're on chats, we're live, we are doing things. I'm probably going to edit the crap out of this like I did with yesterday's, but this is more like a improvisational, not exactly a monologue sort of thing, but this is the period where I wake myself up because I got coffee and Bob. And then I just chat with folks and, shoot the breeze, talk about how things have gone since yesterday, maybe talk some news, eventually get to some gaming. So part of that is saying hello to chats. I like to say hello to the first person who said something, which was not technically me. It was actually Jalzon. He was the first person to say hi, so he gets a point, which means nothing, but that's okay. He gets a point. If anything, that makes him special, and the rabble are not. But what's up to Rakana? What's up to Lo-Fi? Lofil, I should say. What's up to Menarg or Menergy? What's up to Fan Collector? And of course, what is up to all the beautiful digital smiling faces who may be joining us at sometime today. What's up, Betty? How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that anyone who's joining us either on stream or if you're watching the VOD, that you guys are doing fantastically well. What happened last night? Yesterday I raided, and there's like some other stuff that was going on, so I'm going to talk about that. About half an hour ago, I put out a video that talked about the in-game shops between Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, and they're different in many ways. But one thing that I didn't really talk about, that maybe I should have, and I'll just add it in here, is the simple question. Why are there shops? Why is there even a shop at all, whether it's Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft or any of the other games? Why do they have them? Because fuck, they can have whatever they want. Of course they can have a shop if they want. So if they want to make money, they should be able to make money. They don't need to justify or give reasons why they feel like having a shop. The way I see it, and chat, please chime in with pushback, because I'm bound to get pushback. The way I see it, the shop is... And let me give another warning. This is just my opinion. It's just my it's not even an opinion, actually. It's just a perspective. It's the way that I see it. I'm not trying to push it on others, but the way I see it, in-game shops and such, they just target a certain demographic. They target people that have extra money to spend. It's not, I would say pay-to-win shops, bona fide pay-to-win shops, those are designed to kind of prey on different vulnerabilities, mostly impatience. It's mostly designed to prey on that. One of the reasons why I don't feel like most MMOs don't have a pay-to-win sort of structure is because the way that your impatience... Well, I guess I'll stick to the context of WoW instead of being vague about it. If you're impatient in WoW and you want to pay for carries, you can do so. And there are two paths, but there are two paths that you can take. One, you can learn how to make the gold that you need in order to like buy all the things that you want, or you can buy a WoW token and that sort of thing, and that totally has that feel of a pay to win sort of deal, because I set up the context. You're impatient. You want to throw down. This is and here's how you do it. The reason why I resist the whole pay to win notion in World of Warcraft is because, boy, it is not easy to not make gold in World of Warcraft, as long as you have that kind of single-mindedness. And it's weird because it kind of asserts that the person who a person who plays World of Warcraft, this is a bad take. I know this is going to be a bad take, but it's like if you want to pay for carries and do that and that sort of thing and buy items, then you're going to take a different approach to World of Warcraft. For the most part, you're just going to focus on you should focus on generating gold and developing for yourself a system that lets you make gold without a whole lot of playtime, like an hour a day or something like that. Now, there's a lot of setup with that, such as setting up a whole bunch of alts for mission table farming. You have no idea how lucrative that stuff totally gets. And with that, you'll be able to generate easily hundreds of thousands of gold a month. That's going to get you a WoW token. That'll kind of put your foot in the door for paying for however much carries are. I'm not even quite sure how much carries cost concerning gold. But that's kind of the path that person can take, and then they can just take themselves to, and then they can take themselves into these raids and dungeons and whatnot through paid carries and such. But there was a point that I also made, and don't worry, I'll get to chat in a bit. There was a point that I made during the video that one of the big problems that WoW has created for itself that has possibly, I'm not guaranteed, but this is, it's just a strong theory that I have. The reason why paid carries are such a big deal in WoW is because the people that need these carries can't find groups. And maybe they can't find groups because they're not great at the game. But some of these people, they don't have the patience to go through the churn of dealing with bad groups, or not being able to find groups that can teach them or help them out. There's no chance. There's no space for them to grow. It's either you need to be hella good at the game or get the hell out, scrub. And that really sucks. It leads to that sort of mindset. It's like, dude, I've been spending like weeks just trying to get like decent groups so I can do this and this and this. F this. I have the cash or I have the gold. I'm just going to pay for a carry. Forget it. And that's how that happens. So I'd like to think that, I'd love to say that, oh yeah, the only people that are paying for gold carries are people that actually make gold, which is totally not true, because for every token that is sold and bought and sold, someone is paying $20 for that. So it's a weird symbiotic relationship where everyone is a winner, except for possibly the integrity of the game, because now we're seeing, now we can make, it's not factual, but we can make these assertions that grouping has deteriorated to the point where people will just feel more comfortable to buy carries, which is, well, pretty doo-doo, right? No one likes doo-doo. Let me get caught up with chat. So, Fan Collector says, just finished watching the video on cash ups. Well done. Thank you. Fun fact, when he cuts, he can make us say whatever he wants. I can. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And by that, I mean doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Anyway, did I see the shareholders are suing Activision Blizzard? Yes, I did, because because they should. As far as from what I recall from the articles or whatever that I read, basically the whole harassment thing was a cover-up, and if it wasn't for the cover-up, then investors wouldn't have been putting money into Activision Blizzard the way that they have been. Which is, it's funny because I said the other day that investors don't care, that all they care about is the money. And the only reason why they're pulling money out is because, is not because things were, bad things are happening, but because executive leadership is losing control and all these bad things are leaking out. Which is also to say, if executive leadership did successfully hide everything and suppress everything, then shareholders wouldn't mind, and shareholders wouldn't be so. It's it's a very gray area, because I'd like to think that yes, even people, the people who put money into it, the shareholders, they have a vested interest in seeing good things happen and not seeing people be abused. But I could also write this narrative that no, they still don't care. It just makes them as the shareholders look bad, and they don't want to look bad. But regardless, I am mad about more pressure being put onto Blizzard or Activision Blizzard to improve their stuff. Like I said, we're seeing heads roll. J. Allen Brack isn't there anymore. The head of HR is not there anymore. But here's who you're not going to hear about. You're not going to hear about like the line level whoever that may have treated someone else poorly, and then that person who was treated poorly went to HR, and then HR obviously didn't take care of them. You're not going to hear about the people at the line level. Not to say that they're like line level as in they're like factory workers or freaking or cashiers, and not even to diss on factory workers or cashiers either. But I'm just saying that you're not going to hear about those not very high profile departures or terminations or exits or whatever. They're going to get shuffled out, and hopefully in some way they're going to be like blacklisted or burned throughout the industry. But we as the public, we're probably not going to hear much about that. And so there might be this feeling of, hey guys, how come we're not doing it? It's kind of like saying, dude, Blizz, whatever game, there's such a big botting problem. What are you going to do about it? And then Blizzard's like, well, we got these processes and na. And then we're like, no, we want results now. That's kind of the typical refrain. I don't think that's the word that I want to use, but that's like the typical like throwback. So, we're not going to hear about those lower level departures, terminations, etc. But boy, I can't wait for that to happen when it does. And when people, when it does happen, and for whatever reason, those people look at commentators, and all of us are going, ha ha, I hope they feel bad, because they should. So, no. See, Betty says, I don't play Final Fantasy, but I don't get all the hate the WoW shop gets. It's all cosmetic stuff. It is all cosmetic stuff. Just they can put up whatever the hell shop they want, because they have full right to want money. And it's like I said, I'm very amoral, not immoral. I'm very amoral about it. It's like, there's a shop, as long as there's not like a bona fide pay to win, invincibility, Starman, whatever, anything that doesn't provide an obvious advantage for players, it's fine. It's not, I shouldn't feel compelled to buy something from a shop because, oh man, I could really improve my game right now. I gotta buy that, Sword of the Elite, because that's what makes me like the greatest. It's just cosmetics. And the notion of, well, shucks, players put, or the devs, they put so much work into the shop mounts, and they have like unique skeletons and no. Like, I don't care. This is me speaking for me, right? I don't care. Whatever. If there's a premium sort of thing, then cool. That's going to entice the premium sort of audience. I'm going to enjoy like my other crazy ass mounts that I have. There's no shop motorcycle yet, thank goodness. And my recruiter friend mount, that thing is precious. I love that thing. You don't see a shop thing for that, although I think there is. What is it? The Dreadwick, I think, is a multi-seater mount. And shucks, is that Blimp? Which is not in the shop, by the way. I think that's a multi-seater, but that thing's gaudy as all heck. The Alliance one is way better than the Horde one, but whatever. The games, the studios, they can put out a shop. It's just there. You can buy it or you don't, and I think it's really simple as that. Pay to comfort is what Lo-Fi says. Right. And to add to this chaos, someone says we have hurricane seasons. Great. I want that 500,000 gold mount from the Army of the Light. I just don't know how to get said 500,000 gold. My gold making tip is very simple. Just work the mission table. Work the mission table. If you have alts, make them work the mission table. Get those get those alts up. Get those followers. Complete the Covenant campaign, and then just work it. You'll make at least a couple grand a day from just the gold that you get from stuff. But it's the vendor mats, the augment runes, those things add up, and those things get consumed on the regular. There's going to be a constant demand of those things throughout the course of the expansion, and it's definitely worth picking those up. I think if there are weapons too, I think those vendor for a good price. So it's a really good way to work things up. Also, just if you're just playing, these days, now that there's an anima dump, you can buy more resources for that. If you're a crazy anima fiend, even better, because then you can buy Korthite crystals. I think it's like I don't think you buy just one. I think there's like a bag. I don't recall like how many are in there, if there's more than one, but I think there is. Then sell those too. Depending on your realm, they go for anywhere between like 2 point something K to 3K each, and those can add up. Those can add up very quick. And there are multiple ways of making gold in WoW, some of which involve a lot of hands-on work, some don't. I sell glyphs and gliders. That's me. That's my thing. Glyphs, gliders, that's it. and I make like 500K or so a month, something like that. There was an obvious downturn, before patch 9.1 with a long wait, but then it really spiked up, and I made like, 1 point something just off of gliders. It was pretty crazy. So, Betty says, yeah. So yeah, she's, people here in chat are giving tips. Awesome. I have 200K on Kil'Thuzad by the only character that's exalted with Army of the Lights. I don't know if I can transfer at least half of that. I believe the transfer limits have gone up a lot. So you got your dancer, I presume 14 to level 80. Nice, very nice. You're suing Activision Blizzard right on. Did I see Mr. GM's tweet a few days ago about the Final Fantasy XIV cash shop? You got so much hate. That's actually the reason why I made the video. Because I saw I saw this very plain and factual tweet, which later I looked at and I was like, I'm not counting 600 and something on the shop, but you know what? I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, I saw the tweet. I saw the reactions. I didn't see all of them though, because apparently there was like beef between Mr. GM and Pyromancer. He got mad. He raged out. I don't know if he's still on Twitter or not. And then they talked it through, and supposedly everything is okay. But it started with this sort of innocent looking tweet about the number of items on the Final Fantasy XIV cash shop thingy, which can easily be twisted into something else. And I think that in subtweets or whatever, like Dan, Mr. GM, like he kind of he didn't paint himself in a great light. It made him sound like arrogant or passive aggressive. I don't know what it was. I don't know the whole context of it, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. And so I looked at the thread and I saw the fire that's was just nuts. And I loved reading it because it was such I feel so bad. It was so chaotic and insane. Oh my god, the drama. It was nuts. And from that, I was thinking to myself, man, that's crazy. I want to talk about this. So I made this video because I just wanted to plainly say, not just the single tweet of, hey, here's how many items, screw it, I'm just gonna show people how the whole damn thing works. Here's how the sub works, here's how the boosts work, here's how, here's all the monetization kind of things. I didn't realize that you can spend up to like 30 something bucks for 30 something bucks a month for a Final Fantasy XIV subscription that has like all these different additives to it. But keep in mind, like that's kind of the equivalent of having a second WoW account, so while that was something that I found to be advantageous, it's not really a pay to win because there are other ways to go about it, and if you have money, go ahead. Like I usually say. Hi, Shady. Actually, Shady is my first mod. Sorry, Jalzan. But Shady hardly ever does anything except for messing with the bot, and and that's it. Let's see. But yeah, I have no idea how far behind on chat I am, so sorry. The easiest way to move gold, according to Arcana, from server to server without buying a transfer is to buy a pet. Oh yeah, there's that thing. You can buy a pet. Sell it for a ridiculous amount, and then buy it. So, let's see. Aurora's Children was totally meh towards the shop until the token. It says nothing else. There was much more. He called Pyromancer out and can't take the heat when he gets it back. He is an idiot, and I blocked him 3 years ago because he was like that. Dang, that seems kind of fierce. Dan always seemed nice. So, we during BlizzCons we would pass each other by like ships in the night. But we would pass each other. I'd be like, and then he'll be like, and then like that'd be kind of it. So, gold making tip, beg soul. Within my guild. For them, it's like, okay, best way to make gold is to win a guild race, because I every now and then I hold a guild race where I just take a couple million gold and I just distribute it with like prizes, but I make my guildies go through hell to like to fight for this gold, entertain me with your misery. That's pretty accurate. That's pretty close to like what it is, but I throw down. That's what I do with my gold. I don't pay for carries. If anything, I pay the guild for bounties. Like when we're on the last boss of a raid, on a heroic raid in the tier, and it looks like it's kind of taken us a while, eventually I'll be like, all right guys, and then the guildies are like, oh yeah, here it comes. I'm like, I'm putting out a bounty, and then I'll put out what, like 150 200k ahead for everyone who's in the for everyone who's in there that made a big contribution to the kill. So that's the sort of fun that I do with my gold. Pay for carries. I do it to whip my folks into shape. That's let's see what else. Oh, I think I'm almost caught up with chat. Yay! Hi, tribe. Let's see, I said lighters at first. Okay. Let's see. Soul is the firestorm coming, by the way. Oh, please. My 3-minute video turned into a 30-minute rant. Don't you mean the other way around? Dan is a kind as F Soul. He really likes to pick on people, and years ago it was me for nothing. When I'm going to level my shaman, am I not entertained? Level 1 race to booty bait. Oh, I make it so much worse than that. What's up, Irony? I make my guild races so much more bad. The last one that I did was when Burning Crusade. I'm sorry, when WoW Classic launched, and so I had people start from the undead starting point, and I had them go all the way down to this underground area in Burning Steppes, so south of Black Rock Mountain. The zone with the southern entrance. So I think it was Burning Steppes. No, or was it Searing Gorge? I never remember. But anyway, there's like this big like labyrinthine cavern there, and inside this cavern there is a ledge that you have to drop down on. but you got to drop down this ledge in a certain way. Like you need to like either like walk backwards in like, you know, RP walk fashion, and then you can land on this ledge. And remember, everyone's level 1. Everybody's level 1. They're hoofing their asses all the way down to this little cavern. They're dying all the way through. I'm laughing my face off. And they're all trying to get to an not an NPC. They're all trying to get to my character, who of course I run the race too. You know, as you know, to like practice it and to make sure that it's actually possible to do. And so I get there, and then I'm just watching as people are like, "Oh, dude, I made it! Wait, where is he? He's underground, dude! Ah, son of a butt!" You know. And then they all start like coalescing, like trying to find where my character is underground. And then they're like, "Oh, I think I found him!" And then I would start seeing people drop. You know, here's my character, and I would see people go, "Woo!" And then they would drop into like this cavern that's full of other mobs, and then they get killed. They're like, "No, he's down. He's freaking between a ledge. What the?" Yeah, it was fun. Those are a lot of fun. It was Syrian Gorge. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, like lemmings. It's hilarious. So like, you know, it's like we have a small guild, so there's like no more than like 12, 15 people or so. By the time we get to the end, there's like maybe 5 people that are still there. But the last race that we did, like almost everyone stuck around and was hoofing their way through. And so once, you know, first, second, third place and all the prizes are given out, I give like a consolation prize for finishing, like 10K, 20K or something like that. And so we're all just kind of waiting there, dancing, doing our thing, you know, watching people go boo. And it was hilarious. It was a lot of fun. And I hope to have another one sometime soon. So I think the last thing to even talk about right now is how raid went last night, which was, you know, it was okay. We, you know, right now we're still doing like a normal mode raid farm. We're gonna start doing heroic tomorrow, so that'll be fun. But yesterday felt a little bit special because one, we did a full clear in one day, or in one night, so just a few hours, and that felt great. We one shot almost everything except for KT because whoops, but not a big deal. But it was the fact that we brought one new person, viewer actually, Sozman. He came to the raid and he brought his friend. It sounded like they had a really good time. We're all just like chilling and laughing and killing bosses and watching people die. And you know, when someone dies, typically I'm like, if someone dies like really early on a boss that we totally have on farm, I'll usually be like, all right, get him up so we can watch him die again. And then, you know, it gets a nice little laugh out of that. But yeah, so they had a good time. And then one of our other recent guildmates, who I believe was also a viewer, he had joined, and the week previous, I had to say, I can't bring you, or you know, we can't do Sylvanas. Like, but we're still progressing on her. We tried to carry as hard as we can because he wasn't performing all that great, and he's like, "No, dude, it's all good. You know, I appreciate it. Thanks for even having me along." But then this week we got him. He was able to stay. He wasn't alive at the end. Neither were a couple of people, but we still got it, and that's still great. And so later he sent me a message saying, you know, thank you. You know, this is like one of the best times that I had in a long time. And damn, that feels good. Damn. That feels good because this is my perspective, not even opinion. I play a different kind of World of Warcraft from other people. It's a privilege almost to be the type of person who plays WoW in such a way that I manage a guild, and it's a small guild. We just do AOTC. We just do ahead of the curve, heroic level stuff. But it feels really good to take a team that, you know, this hodgepodge team of people of very different ages and skill levels and proficiencies, and we still get stuff done because I'm able to still kind of challenge these people, despite however much playtime they put in. I can still kind of challenge them to like do the best that they can, and I can tell them that, you know, at the end of the kill, when the corpse is on the ground, I can tell that person, hey, you know what, whatever it is that you did, even though you ate the ground for the most part, you still got us here. and I appreciate that. And that's a really, really good feeling to give to people, because I do appreciate everyone that comes to these raids, for the times that they come, and it's special because I like to think the guild. I like to think of the guild as sort of family. And Rakana's right there saying, talking about a viewer raid, and that wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same because even though you know me, it's not the same sort of relationship that I have with guildmates. We're not like interacting outside of it. We're not. I mean, we would be, right? So maybe, and I guess this thought is just kind of starting to get into my head. Maybe somehow can I consider like all of you guys as like honorary guild people, honorary guild mates of sorts, and I'd love to think that, but I'm very anxious about it too. I've talked about this a number of weeks ago, how I talk about my anxieties and bringing like strangers in and such, and I'm very, very skittish on that. If I said, hey, let's do a viewer raid, it'll be fun, I'd be lying, because I would be scared the entire time. It'd be kind of irrational, and maybe some people would be put off by me just saying that, but that's the truth. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Just like how I wouldn't feel comfortable being like, hey, guild, I'm going to bring as many viewers as I can in here. Because something in me makes me feel like they would feel the same way. They would feel uncomfortable. Who are these strangers, Soul? And then I'll answer. But there'll still be, it wouldn't feel like a great mix. It's got to be slow. It's just got to be slow and gradual and natural. Natural. So that's why I haven't done viewer raids, because I feel like I just want to feel comfortable with them. But it is such, last takeaway on that is that I just really enjoy hosting runs with my guild. It just feels really good knowing that that our experience is way different from other people's. Now it's not like we do high level keys. I mean, we tried doing like a 12 and we just weren't fast enough. We just didn't do enough damage to like to time. We still got points at least, but we just didn't do well enough. So we need to improve and so on and so forth. But we still had, we still felt pretty good afterwards. It just sucks still not timing, and that kind of goes into what I was talking about how it is hard for people to get groups these days, because most people aren't in a guild, because it's still hard for people. It's hard for people to find a guild, and at the same time, I think the culture of WoW these days makes people feel like, oh, temporary partnership. I'm just gonna jump around, shop around, go wherever I want. People that tend to leave my guild, who after they've been around for a while, if you leave my guild, it means you quit the game, or you're on break, or something like that. Not a lot of people who leave my guild keep playing. Very, the ones that do, and there are people that do, are ones that do want to graduate and move up to like a higher level content. My old co-tank, Shad, he wanted to move into a Mythic guild, and I was like, cool, go for it. So he eventually did. It took him a while. He had to play as a hunter for a while before the guild trusted him, and now he's tanking for him, which is what he originally wanted to do. So he took like this kind of slow route of, hey, here's what I'm going to do for a while, and then I'm going to move my way up, and that sort of mentality feels rare these days. It feels like it doesn't. It feels like it doesn't have a good space in it, because people are like kind of moving so fast. Go. I want to jump from this from this to this to this, and to hell with the people I'm leaving behind. I feel like among those sorts of WoW players, things have gotten like a lot colder. And here I am huddled with the guild, and we're like, ooh, it's pretty crazy out there, man, right? So who wants to do a normal? Me, so that's kind of us. A lot of people are talking all of a sudden. Oh boy. Let's see. I've been in those high stress, high performance guilds. I think we were number 60 on Heroic Lich King back in the day. It was more of a job than it was fun. Now I'm in a guild where we joke around, still do well. Going through Heroic now, congratulations. But such a better experience to amuse each other while still taking the game somewhat seriously. That's cool. That is dope. So if I want to involve viewers, why not set up a separate guild? Because I don't have the bandwidth, Betty, unfortunately. The way that I've kind of been, the way that it's been going, it's just kind of been playing by ear. Some people are like, hey, can I run with you? It's kind of like an individual. People just like DM me or something. Can I do a run with you? Or someone will say like with Sozman. He said the other day, oh man, I really wish that I can, get a run with, do some raids with people. Here's my times. But it's really hard to find. I'm like, dude, that's like my time. Come on, let's go. And so he came, he brought his friend, had a good time. But I feel, like I said, I feel uncomfortable, doing something so, stepping it up, taking that big of a step. It feels like it's more than what I could mentally handle, I think. Do I know how the Marshall and Lily in How I Met Your Mother doing how it works? I'm the same for me. And I guess a lot of you viewers are how WoW players should normally play. Actually, let me reread this. I'm sorry, Lo-Fi. Do you know how Marshall and Lily in How I Met Your Mother, all of the others showed how it is great to be in a relationship like they are? You're the same for me, and I guess a lot of you viewers, how WoW players should normally play, feel good and not stressed out, and you make us also feel like that. Thanks for this. No, thank you. Oh, that's a compliment that I had a hard time reading. I apologize for that. Since my guild, Galifax says, since my guild pretty much went inactive, I'm forced to pug Mythic Plus, which terrifies me. That sucks, because I think that when Blizzard first imagined Mythic Plus, they were like, oh yeah, this is going to be some hard stuff, man. These people better, these people need to step up and make, form more permanent teams. Let's facilitate some of that stuff with BattleNet tags and all that stuff. And you can have like a whole list of your BattleNet friends that you can team up with. It didn't work out like that, unfortunately. I see the vision on that. Unfortunately, the player response was different. And unfortunately, that was a big swing and a miss on Blizzard's part that unfortunately they were too slow to respond to, and so that's how Raider IO became a thing. And now we have this very active, very powerful social attunement that people need to overcome, and that sucks. Mr. Jim just watched the pay to win video on his stream. Oh, nice. I wonder what he said about it. I hope that he's not. I posted a quick picture of the thumbnail that that was going to be put onto the video, and then he had he did like a little GIF reply. He's like, one of those, what kind of faces. I hope that he's not thinking that it's like an attack or any sort of this on him. I'm far removed from that. I know I mentioned him earlier in my little talkie today, but yeah, I want to totally remove myself from that. All I'm trying to do is present these facts and then share my little revelation on how I feel what the WoW token has done, and the problem with grouping and how it just made it so much worse. So yeah, I hope I hope we'll see how the reaction we'll see how his reaction goes, but I hope he understands that I'm not trying to come from a from an angle that's meant to be a diss on him. And if so, he's wrong. But, let's see. I hate pugging mythics, and the reason why I stopped healing in WoW, I don't have any. I don't have any regrets there. You pugged Sanctum, but you did get the bow. Nice. Oh yeah. No one got a bow or a quiver last night. Big bummer. Side note: I love the Baby Yoda in the background. It's cute. I haven't turned him on in a while. I kind of feel bad. I think I should take him for a jog at some point. I got a shaman in the guild, but I don't plan on doing anything end game on him ever. It's fine. Do what you want, dude. Do what you want. Yes, all your live streaming, don't forget. Really? No way. I raided with them end of Legion, I think. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep up with. Oh, you mean us? Yeah. Our times are weird. Like, so here's my quick guild advertisement. We raid Tuesday and Thursday from 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. So we're kind of late. You know, we deal with a lot of folks that work at like certain times, and that seemed to be the best way to go. So gaming PCs are legal in California, Oregon, and Washington. No, not that I heard of. I think I heard something about how high-end PCs are being like restricted in certain ways, but I'm pretty sure like if you just buy components individually, then you're fine. I'm not sure about pre-builds though, but I know very little about how that works. You were with us once for Uldir and once for Eternal Palace. You know, I feel bad because I have such a poor memory of that sort of thing, but I hope it wasn't that bad. BL George asks, quick question. I feel like with all of the Blizzard news recently, I've seen a lot of talk from streamers and YouTubers talking about WoW needing or benefiting from a reset, kind of like a Realm Reborn. But I think it needs it. What are my thoughts on the idea in general? No, I don't think it needs a reset of sorts. I think a lot of people didn't respond very well when Cataclysm first came out because the world changed. All the quests that we knew and loved, they're gone, and that is what bred the want for like a WoW classic, or you know, that's how like all those WoW vanilla servers started springing up. I don't. My recording thing messed up. Hey chat, am I okay? I got like a weird error. Oh, I know what it was. My hard drive is full. Oh, well, I'll figure that out later. So where was I? Oh, does there need to be like a big ARR reset of sorts? Like I said, I don't think that there needs to be one because, well, one, it would piss a lot of people off. And two, people want change and they don't want change at the same time. It's very contradictory. It's jarring. It's different. People want improvements, but they don't want change. And sometimes improvements involve change, and sometimes change involves improvements. I'm effectively saying nothing here. I get it. But that is mostly why I think that they don't need a whole reset. I do think that they need some very different approaches, and I do think that WoW needs to take risks that right now they do not take, and that's hard for. That's something that they need to do. They also need to do a bit better about responding to players' more immediate needs. You know, like it's hard to argue that they don't respond to PTR feedback very well. You know, or to commit to certain quality of life changes. Now, I totally get that there could have been something that made, oh, you know, that moss skip, actually, here's why we can't do it, guys. If they were to say why, it would probably calm people down a little bit. but not by much. But it's better. But I guess it's better than nothing. It's better than not saying anything or pretending that they didn't hear anything. Or by the time they finally do say something, oh yeah, we had no idea, guys, that this was an issue. It would be cool if they were able to respond to those sorts of things, to at least address them, and say, hey, here's the challenge with it. Here's why it's not something we can immediately do. I don't know if it's a pride thing. I don't know if it's a corporate thing, but it's just unfortunate because it just leaves us kind of in the dark and we don't know what's going on. But as for an ARR sort of rebuild, no, I'm against that. I am against that, at least. I don't think it'd be a good idea. I wouldn't use it without a guild. I've given up on finding the guild. The last one felt not good. Too much grouping, not enough fun. I ask for something and no one answers, and I'm also social anxious, so I just play solo now. My guild isn't for everyone either. You know, I talk it up. Hi, boss lady. I talk it up and everything, but no, my guild is definitely not for everybody. We can be mean. We give people crap. And once we start to know each other and people start to open up, we become even more mean to to each other. There's an older couple that we have, a husband and wife, that they give each other a lot of crap, and that kind of spills over to us, and so we give them a lot of crap. We give them a lot of crap too. They're very much into the whole self-deprecating sort of thing, which is kind of weird, but also kind of fun. But not everyone can handle that. Not everyone can deal with that sort of thing because my guild is not what you would probably consider like a safe space. There are some people who end up getting pushed out because our attitude is something that they can't handle. And it's us, not them, that would be, who I would say isn't exactly problematic, but, it's us that makes us incompatible with these other people. And that's okay, because I don't believe that, this one person that came in, we have to be really nice to them. I don't exactly buy into either, because I'd like to think that there is a guild for everybody. But a guild shouldn't be, but a single guild should not be for everybody. Because what do you get? You get the World of Warcraft. You get the pug world, basically. You have this amalgam of attitudes that all clash together. And it's hard to find. That's why I believe so strongly in guilds. And that's kind of why Final Fantasy succeeds with what it's doing, because it doesn't ask for a lot of group content at all. It doesn't ask for a lot of challenge. The challenge is there if you want to dive into it, but for the most part, you could you could basically, how should I frame this, and this is coming from my lack of knowledge too. You could basically run heroics and feel and kind of get to where you want to go for the most part. I'm probably wrong about that. I'm being woefully inaccurate about that, but that's kind of the best comparison that I can make. I'm so behind on chat. I have no idea where I am now. Somehow my thing like scrolled up. The new vault. Irony says the new vault killed the Mythic Plus in guilds, because now instead of helping out when a person is missing in a lower Mythic Plus, you will get no one, because the vault will give lower loot if someone does lower Mythic Pluses to help out. So that is poopy design. I want to turn that around and say that your guild is being a bunch of punks too, because they are clearly not interested in helping you out. That's how I'm taking it. Right now, my guild struggles in Mythic Plus. I have successfully not timed a single key. None of us are. No, not none of us are. People that are pugging probably are, because they arguably do better. But yeah, with me at least at the helm, nope. But we still do it anyway because it helps to like get the vault loot, and you know, that much helps. So I think the design is however you make of it, you know, and some people use it to their advantage, and unfortunately they use that to kind of push people away, I think. People getting penalized for helping out. Yes and no. I know that there's that whole, hey, if you complete a Mythic Plus and one person there gets any score, then everyone gets a Valor bonus or something like that. So that's kind of nice, but that's not really like a huge boon, I would say. I think it would be totally different if there was a Valor vendor. Like if there was a vendor that gave people like a generic gear, not optimized gear. I don't think that you should be able to buy anything and everything you want, but definitely something to like get you started and to possibly fill holes in case one or two of those pieces happen to have good stats for you. Great. Then there is full incentive to run anybody's Mythic Plus. I want some effing Valor, you know. But even then, it doesn't take all that long to Valor cap for the week anyway. If you do regular runs. I saw the logs this morning when I woke up. Good job. Thank you, Rye. I hope that you had a productive morning. Rye over there didn't show up for raid. Punk. He said that he wouldn't show up. It's all good. But yeah, no thanks to you, man. My healing was great, I gotta say. My healing parses as a tank, awesome. Excellent. Uldir was fun because I was healing it. Was I healing it? Oh, that's terrible. Jay's 2 cents, who I've never heard of, did a video about the California PC thing. It has nothing to do with gaming PCs. It's about hardware that uses too much power while sleeping or hibernating. Thank you, Thank you, Falmouth, for the edumacation. Eternal Palace was smooth other than me killing you on each boss. Awesome. Okay, hard drives. I'm gonna keep going. Ooh, I'm really behind. Wow. Okay. Intro skip. Yes, please. I played WoW for 15 years. I think if they reset it to be essentially a new game, I would leave it at that point. I have no desire to get into a new RPG, new MMO. Yeah, like playing through 14 has been tough because I'm like, oh man, I'm going through the. It's tough and it's great because you're going through the motions of not knowing anything. You know, the whole idea. Some people would say, oh man, 14 is way better than Shadowlands. Well, of course it's better because it's a brand new experience. You're an idiot. And being an idiot means you're learning, and learning is an experience. But in Shadowlands, there's already so much stuff that you already know. So it's a very unfair. It's an unfair comparison, but something that you can't help, and that's still okay, even though it seems unfair. It's still okay because I prefer people to be like, hey, you want to try something new? Let's freaking go. Because I think people should seek happiness, straight up. I agree with the views on it, and I don't think that they would actually do a reset. I think that they could benefit from making some big changes in a lot of aspects from the way that they've been doing things in the past few expansions, but a reset isn't necessary. So real quick, what I want to try and do today is something that I talked about in a weekly, which you know tends to get a small audience on that. But I'm going to retell the Battle for Azeroth story in a Final Fantasy style format. Like if you guys saw the weekly, you saw me talk about this. I'm basically going to bring that up again, and just bring up Final Fantasy does such a better job at storytelling than World of Warcraft, and it's partially thanks to like the format and how they do it. So I'm going to really get into that today once we're done with stream, if I ever get to playing video games and any of that stuff. I did most of my WoW stuff this morning, so it's not that big of a deal. ARR got a reset because the original game was garbage, which was not the case with World of Warcraft. Yeah, I'd say like it's flawed. It's in this case it's delayed. There are things that people don't like, and loud people are talking about it. But I also hear a lot of people say, people tell me that in game at least, it's way less toxic. There are less people, there are people that in trade chat that say their thing, but overall people are finding it less toxic. And I like hearing those things, not necessarily how people are feeling, but I like hearing, not necessarily the positivity, but I like hearing, what is the state of the pug world these days? Because I do everything that I can to not be in on it. Listening to their voice comms when he streamed raids was hilarious. I thought of getting back into the streaming of raids in the evening. I really, I'm really on the fence about it. But the reason why I still haven't is because we get not safe for work on that. Like, I'll talk about big boob DPS or big booty DPS, and we'll have all sorts of innuendo, and I don't know how comfortable I feel with a whole raid team who may not be entirely consenting to me streaming to be on there. So it's tough. I remember that guy who uploaded private logs and bragged about his parse after every kill in Narthia. Oh boy. As a piece of content, maybe try the method dungeon tools and Dratnos routes and see how much. I have thought about doing like kind of a personal diary of my own like baby growth, as doing dungeons and mythic pluses and stuff. Because like I said, I suck at it. I'm barely like getting by. I'm barely making the easy mode times. But I still have fun doing them whenever I can. Alpha Wolf, how am I doing? I'm doing good. I'm live, obviously, and this whole recording is going to be uploaded. And I think, in this case, I don't have to edit it as much as I have to. Unfortunately, I think, oh, that's right, I have music on. I hope I don't get copyright hit with something like this. But anyway. So I'll turn off the music. Sorry, guys. As far as the reset, I don't think the game needs it as far as pleasing the player base. However, a WoW 2.0 might be good from a developer standpoint. The code has got to be a mess, which is why it feels so buggy. I think if they took the time to rewrite it, it would be so much better. Unfortunately, this is an opinion from limited experience. Unfortunately, just being like, hey, dude, let's just redo it. Let's just rewrite all the code, no problem. And at the same time, let's make sure everyone's experience remains the same, and that all the things that were there remain there. That's tough to do, because this is 17 years worth of WoW that we're asking them to like, hey, do a full rewrite of it and upgrade it. And I know you have an engine that you've been working on for like over a decade and some change, but just redo it. It's no big deal. People will like it. I do feel like there should be like big upgrades and revamps and time taken to fix things, but it's really tough because it takes a long time. That's like a 4 or 5 year job to do like big upgrades on those sorts of systems. Can players wait that long? Absolutely not. But I do agree on the sentiment that there needs to be like some big structural changes, things to support like new features, newfangled stuff. One thing that comes to mind, because I'm thinking about Final Fantasy as well, is that, boy, if you guys play it, managing inventory is a nightmare. And you know me, you've seen me on stream, you've seen my bags. That hasn't changed when going from one game to another. It's really bad. And the way that I handle like the inventory thing, it's like, okay, I have 100 some spaces in my bags, but I can't make my bags bigger necessarily. There is this saddle that I get access to, and I gotta open a menu. I press a button or I open a menu thing, and then boom, I can open up that additional bag. I can also go to my retainers. These two NPCs, and I can just jam more materials or whatever onto those guys, and then I can tell them to like sell it or put it on the auction house or the market board or whatever. And then there is this transmog wardrobe closet thing. It's kind of like a void storage, but it's just for your transmog. So I have to go to an inn. I can't just go anywhere. I have to go to an inn that has these closets, and then I jam all that transmog stuff into there. But yeah, if I want to find items, if I want to organize items, SOL. I don't really have much recourse on that, or maybe I need to learn it. And I remember someone had told me that, oh yeah, it's something that Square would love to work on, but it's something that's built into the core so deeply that it breaks things if they were to try to do, like, let's say, a wardrobe system, because they don't have a wardrobe system. It's like void storage. You just stuff things in there. Going back to WoW, there are things that we'd love to see, I'm sure. Nothing specific that I can think of aside from player housing, but the idea of that is just that much harder. I'd love to see this whole big engine edition where they can do that sort of stuff, but it's tough. I know I really, really got ranty on that one. Let's see. Rise fixing stuff. Hey, so comment on one of your YouTube videos that I'd love to get your opinion on about getting out of the faction divide. One of the original Warcraft RPG guides contains a cool short story about a Tauren scout working for the Alliance that gets murdered by a human working for the Horde. How about letting players pick their faction in the future? I thought about all sorts of different ways on how to address the faction divide. And what I eventually came up with was something that doesn't have to be so convoluted. Not even to say that setting up a quest line or something is convoluted, but I think it can be really simple. And all it takes, on the back end, it's not a flip of a switch, but I think in the front facing end for the players, it could be as simple as a cutscene. End of Shadowlands, Sylvanas yeets off with Nathanos on the love boat, off to oblivion. Everyone's happy. Anduin is fine. Everything's cool. Jaina and Thrall hooked up. And, they're gonna make babies. But and at the end, as we're like looking at the veil and we're going to return back to Azeroth, everyone's looking at each other and they're like, man, look at us, humans, orcs, whatever. And then Bane's like, hey, what about me? And like, yeah, Tauren too, I guess. Working together, we, for the time that we've been in here, we haven't thought about Horde and Alliance and other such things, or at least most of them haven't, because there's war mode. But we work together. When we go back to Azeroth, we're going to, we're going to, push for peace or whatever, which sounds like a really crappy platitude, right? And it is. The whole point, though, is that, they're going to try and do it. Horde and Alliance, they're not going to do so great at it. However, as champions of Azeroth, people who have always been kind of like, always coming together to fight like the big bad and all that stuff, I think they're just going to come to like a whole realization that, even though we have our differences, we can still, for the most part, work together. And so that's just going to be it. So you choose your race. You choose your race. You have your faction-based quests based on the expansion that you chose. You can still play through all those storylines just fine. It's just that they're faction exclusive, and that's it. And otherwise, people can group together. People can guild together. You can visit. You can visit in enemy city if you want, but of course you're not going to get quests or anything like that. Orcs don't join the Alliance. They just work together with other adventurers, and maybe there are like some neutral quests out there that's that'll be flagged where people can definitely that maybe they couldn't group with before. But for the most part, everything can stay the same. The only difference is that people just group together for PvE content. In war mode, sure, war mode's on. You could kill, and everything's the same. Nothing needs to change there. You go into a battleground, you're just part of one side or the other. I think it's I think the only thing that would make a difference would be Alterac Valley, because those have clear role play sides where you can preserve that sort of faction experience. But for the most part, just let players play together. That's it. That's any question that dares to challenge it can be answered with just let players play together. That's it. I can do a search on item and I'll tell you where it is. That's janky. Sorry, Solaris. It works, right? I've used it. I've done the searches, and then I gotta go back to my retainer and they'll go find the thing and then get it out and like, okay, fine, there it is. Jeez. But anyway, let's see. I think I deleted it. I don't see it. Oh, did I see the comment on the Brack video yesterday? I only delete spam. And oftentimes every month I'll take a look at the comments that are held for review. So you know. They put a chick in charge, you're getting your player housing or something like that. Wow, that's tasteless. Maybe they deleted it themselves. I see that a lot, actually. There are a lot of really bad take comments that I see on my notifications. I'm like, oh my God. Boop. And then it's gone. I'm like, oh, well, coward. Isn't Thrall already married? That's the point. It would be kind of... We got to keep up the faction conflict somehow. It would be kind of interesting if the focus of the next expansion was basically the opposite of a faction war. A lot of people want a grounded Azeroth experience that sort of ties into that. Do you mean like a beach expansion? You mean where everyone's partying down and fornicating and, just chilling? Because, after World War II, we did have the baby, we did have the baby boom, right? After all this war and conflict and such, give us time to like go home and have children and raise families and relax and build things like player housing. Let us do that for a while. Leave the conflicts. Let the conflicts be small and whatever. A raid doesn't have to be a 10 to 30 man raid does not have to be about the end of everything. It can be a big bar fight. It can be, it can be something stupid. Let it be stupid. Because in many ways, it already is like at ridiculous and stupid levels. So why not, switch things up? I think that'd be kind of fun. And at the same time, it'll give a chance for players to just play together. There can still be a patch or an event where it's like, that are faction specific, just like how there are quests that are class specific or race specific. I mean, hell, we need more of those too. But going with that's all it takes. Having separate content for that. So the faction war stays. It's still around. Horde and Alliance can still be at each other's throats. There can still be an uneasy peace with skirmishes and drama and all that sort of stuff. But as for the champions, we're above that. We're better than that, right? That's my take. And that's the show.